This week's rant is people who complain about adoption fees from rescues. Yeah, that's right. There's actually people who complain about how much rescues charge for adoption fees. And, you know, the funny part is that some of these same people, they won't blink an eye about dropping $300 for a dog on Craigslist. Or even $100, let's say. They won't blink an eye. Yet they have the audacity to complain about how much rescues charge for puppies or dogs that are available for adoption. You're not buying the dog, it's technically a donation. You can write it off. Yes, that's right. Adoption fees are actually adoption donations, and they are tax deductible. They are donations to the rescue. You're not paying for the dog. And I won't even get into the fact that adoption fees rarely, if ever, even cover the costs that a rescue incurs for getting a dog prepared and ready for adoption. Yet some of these people, they'll hop on Craigslist and they'll buy a dog or a puppy for $100 or $300. And you know what? They got to get the dog vetted. They got to get it spayed, neutered. They have to train it. All that stuff. You still have to do all that stuff. When you adopt a dog from a rescue, at least a reputable, responsible rescue, that dog is going to be spayed or neutered. It's going to be fully vetted, up to date on all its medical care and vaccines, up to date on any heartworm treatment or preventatives, things along those lines. In many cases, the dog will already have been exposed to some form of obedience training too. Go ahead, get your calculator out, start adding all this stuff up, and you'll see that even if an adoption fee is on the higher end of the $400 to $450 range, okay, it's still absolutely worth it for what you're getting when you adopt a dog. And aside from what you're getting, you're supporting a 501c3 nonprofit animal rescue. So seriously, I mean, stop complaining about adoption fees. I can assure you, rescues are not rolling in the dough from adoption fees. And I didn't even get into feeding or bedding or if they need additional training or other costs or expenses that a rescue may incur to prep a dog for adoption, let alone the time and energy that rescue individuals put into the dogs that are under their care. So enough with the friggin' bitching and moaning about how rescues cost too much money for adoption donations. If it's that much of a problem, you can always go to a shelter. You know, most municipal shelters have, you know, adoption fees anywhere from $50 to $100. But I can tell you right now, those dogs, you know, they're probably not going to be trained. They're certainly not going to go through the same level of care that a rescue person will put their dogs through. And that's nothing against, you know, municipal shelters. It happens. You know, municipal shelters, they're very, you know, very limited resources. They usually have one job to do, and, you know, that's to just give a dog a safe place with food, water, and shelter until it's adopted. Rescues do a completely different thing with dogs. They're usually in foster homes, and they go to adoption events, they get socialized. So enough already. Just stop complaining about adoption fees, okay? You don't like adoption fees, you know what? You're going to wind up paying for a dog on like Craigslist or something like that because it was a responsible breeder. Let me tell you something. Responsible breeders are not on Craigslist. You're not going to find a reputable, responsible breeder on Craigslist. You're going to find someone who's looking to dump puppies or dump a dog for money. That's what you're going to find, okay? Besides the fact most of those dogs on Craigslist, they'll probably wind up in a rescue someday anyway. Well, this was a little longer rant than usual. Sorry about that, but, you know, I'm in my car, obviously, so that's where this stuff pops into my head. I'll see you on my next rant.